Hello and welcome to the Manchester City and Newcastle. Let me get the chat up. Reaction. So, there. Game has just finished, and it's finished 2-1, and it was one of the most boringest second halves I've watched for ages. It was absolutely terrible. But City got the win, and that's exactly what they needed. With Liverpool winning, with Chelsea winning, they needed to continue that sort of pressure, and that's exactly what they have done. Which is really, really important. I am using something slightly differently. So I'm just wondering just how far I am behind. Okay, so that's much better than we were before. Before I was so far behind. But that's brilliant. So let's get into the game. I'm pleased. Obviously, it's very, very important indeed to get those. To get those 3 points. Why isn't this working? Yes, it's really important to get those 3 points after they both won. So that's exactly what happened. But it was a very, very boring game at parts. City just did not get going. And probably that's it. That's done it. 1,917. Right. So this is a good win, but every win is a good win. Every win is a good win, no matter what. But it was so boring. The second half was so boring. But let's get into it anyway. So they took the lead after 8 minutes. Sterling converting, really, really good finish. Benjamin Mendy setting that one up. How often does that happen? Benjamin Mendy making, I think that was his 5th assist. Yedlin equalised after half an hour. Really good goal this. He ran, but Mendy needed to get over. He did not get over. He stayed central, and they were just all over the place at the back, and that's what cost them. That's what cost them the goal. Went in at 1-1. City dominated for the first 20-25 minutes, but then it went a little slow. Second half, they finally got the goal they were looking for after 52 minutes. Kyle Walker scoring his first goal for over 2 seasons. 2 full seasons. I was so shocked that he scored. I went out, I popped out to shut the door because the door was open, and I came back and he'd scored. Really, really surprising indeed. It was a typical stuff from Newcastle. They did go for it a little bit in the second half. They brought on Hosselu, they brought on Atsu, and they brought on Josh Murphy, taking off Kieran Clark. So they clearly were trying to get that victory. So here, 78% possession. Once again, Newcastle. The possession, they really don't mind giving it away. But City, 24 shots compared to Newcastle's 3. City dominated, but they really struggled to score. Just nothing was clicking. And once again, they missed one person in particular. And that man is Kevin De Bruyne. He is so good on the field, and he would have probably found the ball in to beat Wolves, and he'd have probably, made it 3 or 4-1 just by his assists. He's an incredible player. But that did not come. And once again, they were, struggling at the end. There was one chance maybe, but nothing really of note. And Newcastle, it's another defeat. they haven't had the nicest start in the world. The fixture computer for Newcastle has been horrendous. If I could just get up their fixtures. So they started off obviously with Tottenham, then they had that Cardiff game. But since then they've had Chelsea and Arsenal. And it doesn't get any better for Newcastle. On the 15th they have Arsenal at home. That's on a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, and St James's Park will be rocking for that one. Then they have Crystal Palace away and then Leicester at home. So it gets better, and then they have a trip to Old Trafford. But they need to get something in those 2 games. All those 3 games. Arsenal at home, we don't know much yet about Arsenal. And then we have Crystal Palace and we have Leicester City. Those games, we won't know what happens, but those games could be key. They could be key for sure. And it's really important for Newcastle to start picking up points soon. I think that if they can't get anything from those next 4 games, then they're in trouble. They're in trouble indeed. Obviously, things get easier after that Manchester United game. I mean, if you look after Manchester United, so on the 20th of October and then up, they have Brighton and Hove Albion, Southampton, Watford, Bournemouth, Burnley, West Ham, Everton, Wolves, Huddersfield, Fulham, and that's nearly up until the new year. Then we have Liverpool and Watford. So they can get better here. They can reproduce and become better, but it's not been a great start. I mean, they have had Tottenham, they have had Chelsea, and they have had Manchester City. And they've not just been disgraced here. They've got 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. And those are good results. And they've been in all of them. They've been in all of them. And they've been level in all of them. So I think they need to get a result on the 15th of September. So now we're going to the international break. And then we can build from there. I say we. I'm not a Newcastle fan by any stretch of the imaginations. But if they can get anything there, and then they go into those 2 games with Palace, and then Leicester City, and then that horrible trip to Manchester United. But they can get better. They can, get better with those lovely bunch of fixtures after that. After they travel to Old Trafford, then they have some really nice fixtures. But on to City. It's not been the best so far. It's not been brilliant by any stretch of the imagination. So first off, they had a 2-0 win at Arsenal, followed up before that by the Chelsea 2-0. And things look really good. I was really confident. And then that 6-1 hammering of Huddersfield. And then things sort of just haven't been so good in the last week. Have you changed your mindset in terms of relegation teams and who's going to qualify for the Champions League, etc., based on the first 6 games all the same? I put in from memory, I think I put in... The problem is, I have autism and I have Asperger's. And Asperger's, it means that I can remember a ridiculous amount. And it's not so good lately because I've been quite poorly. But when people do those reaction videos, I should be able to remember most of what I put, so it won't be as fun. But I think I put obviously City to win it, Liverpool second, United third, Spurs fourth, Chelsea fifth, and Arsenal sixth. I don't know. Maybe Manchester United dropping out. But it's too early in the day to work out what's going to happen. But I'd be, maybe that would be the only change I'd have. Liverpool have looked so good, but last season United looked really good and they didn't win it at the start of the season. And the season before that, City won, I think it was 10 in a row, did they win? Or something like that at the start of that season. Obviously, Chelsea went on and won it. And it was a similar situation when Leicester won it. They didn't have an overly good start. There's a lot of games coming up for City. At the end of the day, with the games they had, I think they've got a good return. So that is 10 points from 12. That's always a good return for 4 games. If they'd have beaten Wolves 2-0 and drew with Arsenal, would anyone be arguing about it? Probably not. So this question, opinions on Sunderland's start to the season. So Sunderland drew 1-1 with Oxford today. You know what? 14 points from 18. 4 wins, 2 draws, 0 defeats is absolutely fantastic by Jack Ross. That's what they would have wanted. No! Fuck off! Fuck team. I'll have to reply to that after. I knew if I meant, sorry to go off topic, but when I just tweeted Team YouTube about the monetization situation, and I said whatever happens, they will send me a link. What have they done? Sent me a link. But yeah, so four wins, 2 draws. That's good from Sunderland. It's going to take time. It's going to take a while for things to really click. But yeah, it's decent. It's decent. And it'll be interesting to see how things go from here. I certainly, if I was a Sunderland fan, I would be happy with the draw so far. The amount of points is good, and Peterborough and Portsmouth are leading the way. Walsall, who I tipped to go down. Yeah, they do. I don't know why I bothered, but at the end of the day, I'm just getting so frustrated. Barnsley have had a very good start, but yeah, I'd be really happy with Sunderland's start if I was a Sunderland fan. But I don't think I could live anywhere further. I couldn't live much further away. But back to City. They've got a lot of games coming up. Their draws in the Carabao Cup and the Champions League have been very kind. But they start back with Fulham. That should be 3 points at home. And then they have Lyon, but Cardiff and Brighton. So that's 3 Premier League games that are really, really winnable. Really winnable. Fulham should be a 3 points. Brighton 3 points. Both of those at home. Those should be 3 points. And then Cardiff away. That should also be 3 points. Having said that, they did lose 3-2. I think that was when they were in there last time. When they went there. So, but if Tottenham win tomorrow, they will be obviously 100%. And then Tottenham Liverpool on a Saturday the 15th. There is no way I'm going to watch Hereford that day. I will be on here doing a live stream for sure. And that'll be interesting. I don't know who Chelsea have, but it's going to, City's fixtures for the next 3 games are very, very kind. Very kind. And then they have Liverpool away, which is basically a foregone conclusion they are going to lose. And then we have Chelsea, who have got obviously 12 points from 12. Brilliant start by the Blues. They have Cardiff away at home, on the 15th of September. That should be 3 points. Cardiff, really, really horrible September. I've already seen obviously City and now Chelsea, and then they have West Ham away. Terrible start by West Ham, but Chelsea, just because they lost there last year, it's a hard place to go sometimes. When they're up for it, they're up for it. And then on Saturday 29th of September, it's we have McLaren screw her at home after a break. Okay. And then Liverpool are away at Chelsea. So, we could go into October top of the league, which would be really, really important. So yeah, I'm really happy overall with the start. Sorry for going off topic, but thoughts on our start? We drew 2-2. Yeah, okie dokie. So you just dropped out of the top 6 into 7th place. Look, I don't believe for any money at all you would have predicted such a good start. 3 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat, 11 points on the board. I think the aim of the Bolton fans is to simply stay up, maybe finish about mid-table, and you're a hell of a way of getting there. I'm going to change the name of the I might change it just to football stream or something, because we're getting a lot of questions of different things. So I'll just do that real quickly. But 11 points is great. First off, the aim is to stay up. At the moment, the aim is to stay up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to stay up. Yeah, so that's saved. But I think you finishing anything above 21st would be good. But yeah, I would be thrilled if I was a Bolton Wanderers fan. So just to get up those fixtures, you had some difficult games. Obviously, West Brom away, Sheffield United at home, and I also believe that Preston will probably come good. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Really means a lot to me, Henry Hall. But yeah, so I'd be delighted. A really good comeback after being 2-0 down. QPR, that should be 3 points, and then Wednesday the 19th, by the looks, Middlesbrough away, and that'll be tough. And then you have a few tough fixtures here. Stoke, Forest at home, Villa away, coming up in the next sort of couple of months. But yeah, I'd be delighted personally. If Hereford win the Championship, I'd be delighted, forever. But yeah, really, really good start. Really, really good start indeed. Obviously, we're 2-0 down after 16 minutes. Wilson and Robinson, and Brown, and then Amiobi and what? Oh, I'm not even gonna try that. We'll just call him Poor. I did see that goal. I think you retweeted it, and that was a brilliant. Thank you for Swansea FC till I die. What a victory that was. Honestly, I just saw that McBurney scored a late winner. So Sean Williams, I saw that they went 1-0 up. Kyle Norton scored an equaliser. Obviously, he came on. And then Alkowski. No, I recognise that name. Swansea, so Kyle Norton, and then Ollie McBurney right at the end. What a result that is, after having Courtney Baker Richardson sent off after a few minutes, to go to the Den and get 3 points with 10 men is an absolutely exceptional result by Swansea. But really, really, really good win for Swansea. That 3 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss, same as 85th minute. So that's the same record as Bolton Wanderers, and that was very, very good as well. I'm just gonna change it to this one, and but yeah, that's really, really good. That's exactly the kind of result that you look at and you think that's one of the best results we could have hoped for. To go to the Den at any time and win is really good. The Den is a very, very hard ground. Obviously, they're known for different things. Are the lovely Millwall. I'm really surprised. Just only scored 7 goals. That's not many, but Swansea to that's really good start. I really like Graham Potter. He has looked very, very good indeed, and yeah, I've been impressed by Graham Potter so far. I think you can improve, and I don't think your squad, is that good. I don't believe your squad is that good, which is kind of a horrible thing to say, but I do feel that your squad isn't, amazing, but to get what you're getting out of it is incredible. What are my thoughts on the new Nation League? I don't see any problem with it. I think the fact is, if it's making people interested in what is basically a friendly, then I think that's good for the game. And I think that is really important. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm not quite sure how it all works. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely obviously you've lost Clucas, who played for my team many moons ago, and Ollie McBurney is a really, really good player at the level. He's done really, really well, which is really, really important. So he did well when he was at was it Barnsley he was with last year? I think it's a good thing. So then it gives teams a second chance to qualify. Yeah, there is qualification. Like I said, I'm not sure how it all works, but there's some cracking games coming up. Fabianski, whoever you say his name. I understand why Fabianski left. Hey, Charles, thank you for tuning in. Means a lot to me. Feel free to get any sort of questions in if you're interested. Told my girlfriend I'd be like 2 minutes recording. This has turned into something else. She's probably going to wonder where I've got to. But yeah, you've lost some really, really quality players. Obviously Key as well, who's very, very good. I hope Southampton go down. Interesting. I personally don't mind who goes down. Don't mind Manchester United going down. The best player in the Premier League is, I think, your favourite player. That has to be a player that isn't in playing at the moment, and that's Kevin De Bruyne. Southampton got a really good win today, so maybe they won't lose. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll stay up. I'm not sure. Obviously, things will. There's a couple of sides I'm concerned about. If I just have a look, obviously Newcastle, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Burnley, they've had a terrible start. Thoughts on West Ham? I thought they do really well. I don't understand why they're struggling so much. I can't understand why they're struggling so much, because they've made some good signings. West Ham. They made some good signings. So, in the summer, they obviously made 9 new signings? Something like that. A lot of new signings, if I could just get the list up. I just think Burnley had a bad start because of the Europa League qualifying. I think now, being out of Europe, they can now kickstart their season. Yes, that is a very, very good point indeed. Now they are out of the Europa League, they could go on and do a lot better. So Issa Diop, I really rate. I've seen him not last year, but the year before. I used to keep up to date with Ligue 1, and I was really impressed by him. Fabianski's a quality goalkeeper. One of the best goalkeepers outside the top 6. Fredericks, I love watching last season. Wilshire's a quality player. Yarmolenko, the jury is currently out on him. Fabian Balbuena, he's looked absolutely dog poo since he's arrived. To be fair, Lucas Perez hasn't really had much of a chance. and Carlos Sanchez. But going out, this is what I can't understand. They've got rid of Patrice Vieira, fair enough. James Collins has been there a bloody long time, as has Czech Koyate. So maybe they shouldn't have got rid of those players. Those players. We would like to know more. YouTube features. Click on monetization and share the screenshot that you see. This would help us look into it better. That is what YouTube have said. So I am going to send the screenshot. If they come in with any other information other than what I know, I'm going to be amazed. So West Ham, I expect them to do really well. I tip them to go 7th, and I am totally wrong. I really do believe that they will get it right. They will get better. But to have a look at their fixtures, I think they've got some tough games coming up, and that doesn't help them. But maybe they'll be better. Maybe they will be better under, with bigger games. Obviously, that didn't happen at Liverpool, but they were much better at Arsenal. So they struggled past AFC Wimbledon, who had 10 men. But their next games are Everton away, Chelsea at home, Manchester United at home, Brighton away, and then Tottenham at home. So there is a chance, if they don't pick up anything against Brighton, they could come the 20th of by the end of October, they could be still on 0 points, because it's hardly like things get easier for them. It's hardly like things get easy for them at all. Chelsea, Manchester United, Spurs. It's tough. So they could struggle. I only want Southampton to go down because of last season. Yeah, I understand that. Indeed. No, I need to put it the other side. Is that better? Yes. So yeah, I understand not liking certain teams because they scored very late, didn't they? I was on holiday that day, and that must have been horrible. Right, Manchester City just won 2-1, says Charles. Yeah, a really strange game. They started on fire and then everything just seemed to go flat for a very long time. I only want Southampton. Only real easy fixture I can think of for West Ham United is Brighton, in which they lost games. They didn't just lose them. They got hammered, didn't they? And they really struggled against them. So I think they lost 3-1 away and 3-0 at home. So they really did struggle. So this could be a record season worse than Derby, maybe. I can't see them being the team that finishes bottom. I think that'll be Cardiff. Cardiff haven't even scored a goal yet. They haven't, scored a goal. They've really struggled, and maybe they will be the team that finishes bottom. But it certainly doesn't get any easier for West Ham. it's a weird situation because Brighton didn't score a goal in August last season. No, they didn't. They really struggled at the beginning. You are right. And then they lost to... They had a game against Bournemouth. I think it was one of the first Friday night kickoffs. And they went ahead through solid march and they lost that. But they did pick up after that. Yeah, you are right. But Glenn Murray is a pretty seasoned pro who will get goals. Will Zahor get goals, or whoever else they have up front? I'm not sure. I think they might struggle to score goals, and that was a problem for Middlesbrough when they came up. If you remember, Middlesbrough had a decent record defensively. They just struggled to score goals. So yeah, having said all that, Brighton, they have some really good players, and a lot of the players they signed worked out. The likes of Gross, the likes of Izquierdo. And, those signings really worked out. Proper, he's had a decent start to the season. Gary Medine, they have, in which we got $6 million for him. He wanted to leave Cardiff after having his best season with us. Yeah, he's not playing much, is he? He's a bit like Jordan Hugill. Jordan Hugill was playing for Preston. He moved to West Ham. He's not really had an opportunity, and he's been banged out on loan. I have a friend who supports Southampton. He must be happy that you won. My cousin, who I would consider my best friend, we get on really well. I always go to his house to watch football. I went on Monday to watch Spurs and United. And yeah, he supports Southampton. So I always look out for results for Southampton. Yeah, I mean, it's a good win. That puts them up to 10th. They've looked a bit iffy, but they have some really quality players. And I think even if Hughes couldn't save them, I think they will find someone that could keep them up. If that makes sense. There's someone that would keep them up. They have so many good players like Charlie Austin, Shane Long, Ryan Bertrand. They have a lot of good players, Southampton. Romeo, he had a very, very good start to the season. Hoyt is a decent. Mario Lamina, Danny Ings, Cedric, he's also a very good player. So they have some decent players. Yoshida. They'll probably survive like last season, but easy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them still down there. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised to see them down there, but I also think they'll have enough to stay up. Who will be the... You haven't given me enough there. So I have messaged back YouTube, and I'm really, really looking forward to what they have to say. I put Southampton 50. Do you do YouTube? Do you do YouTube or just, if you do YouTube, then I will check you out for sure. Bet YouTube don't bribe. No, I reckon they will. It'll be something like, clearly, it'll be, you're currently waiting. But if you don't hear off us, then maybe we need to look into the channel more. And I'm just going to be like, well, as of recording, I have 452 videos. That seems like a ridiculous amount to have. I put some... No, you don't do YouTube. All right, okay, fair enough. I think I put them around a similar place. Who will finish top goal scorer in the Championship? If I had to put money on it, it would be a lad who scored twice a day, and that would be Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale, because he knows how to score goals. He knows how to score goals at that level. And, I expect people like Maupay, Vyman, McBurney, certainly Kamal Roof to be up there come the end of the season, and Britta Sombolonga. But I expect Dwight Gale to just outscore them all. Thank you for whoever just subscribed. Feel free to subscribe and get involved. I'm one subscriber off 1950, which would be great. You've got nearly double since you hit 1k and did your application. Wouldn't be surprised if they are not even checking. No, nor me. Hey ho. It is what it is, and I don't. Like, it's one of those things. It's not even like a big deal, but the fact that I can't bring it in, take it in, take it out. It's just really annoying having to wait. Hope Cardiff finish last. Yeah, I bet. Who will finish top goals from the championship? I've already answered that one. We've kept some decent players, though, some great young players. So let me just have a look through here. Leroy Fer is a brilliant player, and it's ridiculous that he's playing at that level. I've been really impressed with Barry Mackay. Now, I hadn't heard of Barry Mackay before, and he's been really impressive from what I've seen. Olsen is a decent player at that level. Van der Horn, he's a decent. Tom Carroll, who's on page 2. So you have some okay players. I think he's getting a bit out of them, to be fair. I mean, we shall see. I mean, even if things don't go amazingly, then you always have January. You always have January to fall back on, which is important. You always have January to fall back on and make some more signings. Vander is 77 rated in the new FIFA. I've seen it leaked. Yeah, he's good. He's solid. McBurney is very good. Kyle Norton. The problem last season for Swansea was the goal situation. So you had Tammy Abraham up front, and you had McBurney, but he obviously went out on loan. And you had Wilfred Bonney. And they just didn't. Nothing clicked, and it's hard to stay up if you haven't got somebody putting the ball in the back of the net. Your thoughts on Stoke? Stoke have been mediocre, haven't they? To say the least. I go as far as saying it's been terrible. It's not been what I expected. I predicted them to do really well. I really rate Gary Rowett. Basically, I support Hereford, and I'm sure some of you must know who Hereford are. And if you didn't know, there was a boycott, and then they went bust, and we had to reform. While that was going on, I went to watch Birmingham. I watched Birmingham play Bournemouth, and this is when the season Bournemouth got promoted. And Bournemouth won 8-0 at Birmingham. And I said, I don't know why Rowett would want to go. It's a poison challenge. They're terrible. And he came in and he did really well, as everyone knows. They spent a lot of money, haven't they? Let's have a look at their ins. They've brought in a ruck of players I've never heard of. They brought in Benik Afobe. He should be great at this level. Sam Klukas, he should be very good at this level. Tom Ince should be very good at this level. James McLean should be very good at this level. And it's not worked. It's not it's not come off. Obviously, they've lost Xherdan Shaqiri, they've lost Ramadan Sobhi, they've lost Lee Grant. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting has gone to PSG. Now, when I read that, I thought I died because he was shit. Loans in. Ryan Woods, very good, very tidy player. Ashley Williams, he seems to have just fallen off the edge of a cliff. Stoke playing rubbish with Rowett. Yes, they are. It's not gone swimmingly, has it? 5 points, just 1 point off the relegation zone. 11 conceded that terrible result against Wigan. I can see Stoke doing a Sunderland. I can't see it being that bad. I think what I can't understand is they didn't invest in the summer last year, did they? How can you be a mod? I don't need another mod. I've got one, and I obviously could do it myself. There's only like 4 or 5 people in here at a time at the moment. It's just when I need them. So when it goes recently I've had the live streams of the games, and I've been having like 30, 40 people in here at a time on average, and that's really, really nuts. So that's why I give Jack moderator. So in the summer, they didn't really spend much money. They bought Wimmer for 18 million, which is one of the worst signings of the season, and then they bought Fletcher on a free. They bought in Timon on compensation. They bought in Moting on a free. They signed Martins Indy permanently, and then they bought in a bunch of loans, Zuma, and they bought in Hesse. But they didn't invest much money, and then they've gone and bought several good players, and that's what I can't understand. Like, invest and keep your Premier League status. That's what I think. You know, invest and keep your league status. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree indeed. They got good money for him now. They got good money for him. Arnautovic, and who did they bring in to replace him? So going out for Stoke last season, they had Jonathan Walters, Glenn Whelan, Arnautovic, Phil Bardsley, Hosselu. Shay Given also got released. Now, there are some very experienced campaigners, i.e. Walters and Whelan, and then you have Arnautovic and Hosselu. Coming in, you have Choupo-Moting, who was somehow signed for PSG. Choupo-Moting, the season before in the Bundesliga, scored 3 times in 23 games. Does that sound like a good record? And then they brought in Hesse. Obviously, so many problems there. And they sold players, didn't replace them. Now they are where they are. But that's going to bring the live stream to an end. I need to go and help my girlfriend with a couple of things. But if you are new and you have enjoyed yourself, smash that like button and the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon. There will be a live stream tomorrow. It will be either one of the Premier League games, the Old Firm Derby, or for Norwich and Ipswich. I don't know which one it's going to be, but we shall see. You should do more Q&A live streams. I just don't get many people in. So yeah, and I don't know how often they'll be, but we shall see. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Mike, and I will see you.